All right, Patrick Royce, you got the Wild late night, the Wolves, and you write for Saturdays. So the world is your oyster. Which game are you going to tonight?
I live in Golden Valley. Chip lives in Woodbury. So I'm going to Target Center and he's going to XL Energy Center. Sometimes
Oh
you just
man.
go for convenience to avoid less traffic. So that's where I'm going. Although, if you promised me you wouldn't go overtime, I'd rather go to the hockey game because it's got a chance to get over earlier. But
Hmm.
then again, these game threes in hockey are wonderful because every series is tied 1-1. So now you get to you know, the visiting team wins the opener, the home team wins the second game, and now you got to hold serve. And that used to be, Judd, we've talked about this, a huge deal, home ice. Now it means nothing.
Mhm.
Why do you suppose that happened? Not as much scoring in the game. I mean, you don't get 5-3 games very often. Why do you think it is that home? We used to worry we got home ice. We
Yeah,
got
you're
to
right.
get home ice. Now doesn't seem to make any difference. And a lot of times you get to that game six where the home team has a chance to keep it going, or the game seven, the home teams are like, I don't know. I saw some stat a couple of years ago. They're like 30% wins. They get beat at home, unbelievable amount of times. So it's the pressure. If you can come out flying, right, and you can get that early goal, but if the game progresses, you think maybe more pressure is applied to the home team.
Probably. And here's the thing, too, and this is so true in hockey. There's no such thing as momentum, right? Oh, they came out and
Yes,
had a great first period. You just wait. The Jets came out against the Golden Knights last night. First period,
yes,
kicked their ass, looked
yes.
absolutely great. It's like, this might be done in four. And the
Mm-hmm.
Golden Knights won. So, like, this whole momentum thing, we're going to carry the momentum. It's non existent. The simplest answer, though, to your question sounds silly, but I think it's this, too. Do you remember back in the day, the buildings used to be intimidating? They used to be
Yeah,
different too. These
yeah.
are all now cookie cutter, generic buildings. And I'm sorry, fans yelling at athletes doesn't make the
No.
difference. It's a lot of different intangibles. So I think that's the simplest explanation. Chicago Stadium
And
gone.
I think another thing that I keep mentioning in all sports, I mean, this is the same in football. The home field doesn't mean nearly what it used to. I think these guys, you know, and also they're at 12 years old, they're picked out as watch this kid, go to a showcase, do this, do that.
Yeah,
They've been they're 13 years old and they're in Las Vegas in a showcase trying to impress scouts so they have a career. So some people screaming at them in an arena doesn't mean what it. When you used to be some kid from Flin Flon who'd never been out of the sticks, and then you're playing here, you can be intimidated. But these guys been all over the world, and
you're right.
it's the athlete that falls through the cracks is much. There's still a lot of them, and probably a lot of them in hockey, but the ones that fall through the cracks and have not faced pressure their whole lives is pretty minimal. I mean, this baseball player, Cesar Tovar's grandson, the kid that's playing at Cretan now, and I think he's going to be a junior, and there's a good chance he'll be a number first rounder when he's done. And his mom is a great. Caesar's granddaughter is a great person, but she's sending me videos of the home runs he's hitting, and he plays for Little Caesars in Detroit in the summer. That's his summer traveling team, and I mean
Wow.
it's that didn't happen back when we worried about home ice. I'll tell you, or home field, or anything like that. It's just you know is the last great gasp of home field advantage, the Metrodome in the World
It's one of
Series.
them. Yeah,
Right? I mean, that
absolutely.
that was you know put us in the. We'll get them at home. That's okay. We'll get them at home. Don't worry. I remember my column before Game Six against St. Louis. The Braves the second time around. I said, don't worry about it. You've seen this act before. Now, before that, I was 4 years earlier. These guys are choking, but But yeah, it's and it doesn't, it's nice to have. And if you're taking a 2-1 lead into the third period, maybe it helps you something. But it is amazing how home ice doesn't mean what it used to mean, especially when the other team gets desperate.
Yeah, and that you're right. The Twins' first World Series does not happen in any
No.
like the second one. I think we could debate that one a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but the first one, that team, the splits in '87 between the home and road are some of the most
Yeah.
incredible
Well,
splits you'll
yes.
ever
And
see in your life. You're right.
29 and 52 on the road. That team that won the World Series, 29 and 52. And that was the team that Bracken wanted to get hypnotized. Famously wanted to get hypnotized, and I begged him, pleaded with him not to bring it up to Kelly, but he couldn't shut up. And we had a grumpy Kelly for a whole week because Dennis wanted him to get hypnotized. They were so bad in the road. So
TK was
anyway,
fiery back then too. TK was
yeah.
not the nice man that he probably is now. That's when
Mm-hmm.
TK would get pissed.
Yeah. A place that it still works is college basketball for some reason. I think, I don't know why that is. Maybe more immature. It still seems to be a big advantage in the college basketball. I think in college basketball, you're more likely to get referees that are playing to the crowd. In the NBA, if you start booing them and giving them hell, they might just screw your team just to get back at you. But anyway, it's, I don't know. I kind of like the Wild in 6 in this series, though. Although Dallas is, if you let them get it rolling, man, they're pretty good offensively.
And power play wise, they're not. It's been nuts.
Yeah. What is that? Who's the key there? Who makes that work? Or they just got a bunch of them?
Well, Pavelski did because he's got the quote unquote net front presence, but Sagan tipped in a puck, and here's the thing too, they move the puck really well, and so it's not just it's the hints, it's Sagan, so it's a bunch of things. But if you go back, so here's the problem though, Pat. If you go back to the last 2 playoffs now, going back to the Blues series last year, the Wild on the penalty kill has been atrocious.
Yeah, and this Dallas team is better than St. Louis was for sure. But I don't know. They got the goalie from Lakeville that everybody loves hasn't been that great so far. So that's hope, right? I mean, he has. You're only 2 games in, but there hasn't been one where you said, well, he stole that one. So, and that's usually. But did we officially name Gus for the goalie tonight? I'm out on a limb saying Gus is going to play tonight. What do you think?
Probably the right call, Pat. And my guy, Dean's comments after game 2 in the loss. So, we're going to take it game by game and analyze this. What we do, Dean. If he stops 42 consecutive pucks again, there's nothing to analyze. You got your guy.
Right. Yes, well, when Emilio Pagan got us to 7 yesterday, I had to make let's start calling him the Flower.
I saw that. Poor Fleury didn't deserve that.
No, he didn't deserve it, but I couldn't resist it. So, and it's and then if you're going to, I saw something about how Wild tickets are $180 and the cheapest ones for the Wolves are like 30 tonight. Well, 2 things: much bigger fan base with the Wild, and B, they got a 50% chance to win the series, and the Wolves have a 3% chance to win the World Series. So it's a little the Wild crowd deserves to be a little more optimistic here than our guys might win 1 game, but I don't think so.
Do I really want to climb to the top of Target Center to watch that thing?
Yes,
like the Wild, it's going to be an atmosphere. It's a great building. It'd be fun to be there.
And the upper deck at the Wild does not feel as lonely as the upper deck at Target Center because it's higher and you're right. That is part of it too. So I mean, the Wolves. It'll be interesting to see that. The one thing is, they're only playing 8 guys, but as I pointed out the other day, Denver's only playing 8 guys for some reason. So, but they just aren't. The sad thing about the Wolves, when you look at it, is the now might be better than the next.
Yeah.
They don't have they got a 36-year-old point guard who's playing great, but he isn't going to play great much longer. You're seeing the last gasp of greatness from him, and they have nobody. There's nobody. They can't afford to go get one because they're so capped out, and they don't have anyone in the system that you could even think about playing as a point guard. So, and how about the rumors Connolly might go to Washington?
They might pursue him again. Yes,
there might be some people who put him in a limo and take him to the airport, but
they might stick him in a jet, Pat.
If they want Connolly, what you got to get?
What?
At least one number one. At least one from Washington, right? He's under
Conley and Gobert for 2 number ones. How about that?
Yes, that's good. I'd do that. I would do that. One now, 1 2 years from now. Conley and Gobert that'd be a hell of a trade. I've decided I'm not a Cat guy at all, but I've decided I'd rather keep Cat than Rudy. Because Rudy's got you can play offense with Cat anyway, right? You can figure out a way to play offense.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, what do you do there? Cat, I mean, the first 2 games, he had 10 points in game 2. And you're right about Gobert is a whole different issue. So what the hell do you do here?
You hope you play a lot of teams like Oklahoma City that have a 6'9" center and nobody else, and you can just throw it over the top and make it look like you're playing your best game of the year.
Your schedule next year is Benilde St. Margaret's, Wayzata High School. You're going to kick their ass.
Yeah, because you're going to be so much bigger than them. I also get we keep getting the questions about when you have a young team.
They're not young.
What's young about it? Okay, Anthony's young by age, but this is year 3. McDaniels is year 3, right? Was year 3. Nas has been around, and they got a bunch of Cat's been here 8-9 years. He's a young Cat. This is not a young team. They keep talking about it. A young team. We love these young team quotes, as though they're going to. That's the other thing, of course. For 100 years, I've been complaining about that. Okay, the Twins went 61 and 101, but they had a young team. Yes, that's a problem. They're coming back and they stink. Being young and bad doesn't mean you're going to get older and bad. That's for sure.
And interesting. Right, that's not young.
Interesting today to see what pitching moves our boys make after yesterday. They had 3 guys throw 41 pitches.
What was Kepler doing at the end of that game?
No, I just lollyganging around third base.
Rocco ripped him for Rocco.
Yes.
The NESN broadcast was all over him after the Verdugo walk-off, saying he made no effort at that foul ball. I mean, they were all any ground ball that went up the middle, he ran out to first. Oh wow, there he goes! Now he's running. The NESN broadcast was all over Kepler.
Well, he didn't catch that. He should have. I was listening to Provis. I didn't see the play, and he said, "Well, that ball was catchable," But the home run, but. I don't know, what running I mean, he thinks he's going to score easy, but Tommy Watkins is going to stop him because you're 6 runs down. Why the hell does he think he's being? Do you know that little about baseball that you think you're going to be? I mean, waving Tommy's been known to wave guys, but he's not waving them in that situation. I don't know.
Absolutely bizarre. Hi, Phil Mackey.
Hey, did I miss the Emilio Pagan rip session yet, or did we already clear that out of the way?
A little bit.
No.
It was small.
It was small?
I did.
Okay.
I did come, by the way, I went on a little Twitter live stream about a half hour ago. This is the 62nd anniversary of the Twins' first game at Met Stadium.
Okay.
And I was there with my father, and we, only 10 days earlier, Pistol Pete Ramos had shut out the Yankees and beat Whitey Ford 6-0 in the Bronx, and we kind of thought we were going to win the World Series because we were better than the Yankees, So, 10 days later, we get beat by the expansion Senators, the team that replaced us. They're still building Met Stadium. They're still, between innings, they're banging their hammers, still building the end of the top deck in main grandstand. And we get beat 5-3, but we bring in Ray Moore in ninth inning, 3-3 tie, and his nickname was Old Blue. And I think it was because he had a bloodhound dog that he always took with him. And but even from the first spring training, we already knew his nickname was Old Blue. And he gave up 2 runs in the 9th inning of the first home game. And he stuck around till the night sometime in 1963. But you could go into any barbershop, lunch counter, the game was on the line, and how they do it? And they say, they brought in that damn Old Blue. We were bad. We were bad mouthing
Ron
him.
Davis before Ron Davis.
Yeah, we were bad mouthing him. So I've decided Emilio is now in honor of this Old Blue too. He's old.
It is amazing. He is just. They have seen something in him that they think, okay, if he just keeps doing this, the results are going to change, right?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. It's not like it's a blazing fastball. What is the pitch they're in love with that he throws? I don't get it.
I don't know. And by the way, he's 32 years old. It's not like he's 24, 25, and he's okay. You're gonna mold him. He's 32.
Didn't they give him a bunch of money too? What's it, 6 or 7, right?
Arbitration money, right? I think it was like
$3
$3.5 million.
Oh, is that all it is? I thought it was more than that. Yeah, I don't know. Is he gone today? Because they got to make about 3 pitching moves, I think, to bring in some more. I suppose not. They'd have to. If they couldn't admit they were wrong after last year, I suppose they're not going to admit they were wrong after yesterday.
What if they lose him, Pat? What if they lose Pagan? What will they do?
Yeah, he's going to come back and mop up some victory for some team. We should have kept him. No, it's I don't know what. Who's throwing really good again? I think I'm putting my 8 in the bullpen and letting Bailey Ober be my 5th starter. That's my aim and stuff stinks right now. There's no life on his pitches whatsoever.
I believe he's in line to start on Sunday, right? They're a TBD for Sunday's starter, and I think Ober is lined up to potentially be the guy on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, big evening here. What time? Let's predict our game of finish times. I'm picking the Timberwolves will get started at what, 9:05 maybe?
Well, it's an 8:30 tip, right? So probably I'd say 8:47, 8:50, somewhere in there.
So they'll be over at 12:20 maybe? No.
No.
11:30.
Yeah.
And the hockey game, nobody knows.
I predict we'll go at least 9 minutes into overtime.
Okay.
We'll get an OT, and that game will come to a conclusion at approximately 12:40 a.m.
Now, the Dallas did not seek any retribution for Pavelski, huh?
No.
They just decided to win the game, huh?
Yep.
So, okay.
Yep.
7 goals was retribution enough.
Yes,
perhaps.
yeah.
I'm guessing that they were warned as well, so they probably didn't want to get needless penalties.
But there were some comments from Peter DeBoer talking about how the Wild are the 6th most penalized team, and then Dean said, "Well, Dallas likes to embellish some things, and our guys aren't ever going to be embellishers." So
we get a coach's fight would be great. Let's make it happen.
I think we're going to have a really interesting officiated game.
He needs to focus on the games.
And early in the series, starting. This is early to start insulting each other. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun tonight over there. But Phil, I told Judd want to know what game I was going to, and I said, I live in Golden Valley and Chip lives in Woodbury, so I'm going 4 miles and Chip's going whatever it takes to get into the XL Center. So
that would seem to make sense. Yeah.
Sometimes you should go with convenience. Yes.
So Patrick, Twins attendance tonight. What's your prediction with those two teams playing?
It's like a 6:40 start time, though, right? I mean,
7 to 9.
7. Okay. 7. Actual 11,000 maybe, if they're lucky, because it's given the weather's horrible,
It's an easy double. If you want to go watch 5-6 innings of the Twins, go get a couple beverages and walk across the street to Target Center.
If it was a 6:40 start, you might get to see the whole game before they tip off.
It's great.
You know, it was a 6:40 start.
Last year, the question you would have asked was, okay, which game
Will
ends
end
last? The
first.
7:00 first pitch baseball game, or
Yeah.
the other
I
two?
suppose we should stop talking about this wonderful invention, but I can't. It's unbelievable. Yesterday you give up 11, you got position players pitching. And it was what, 237, something like that. I think it was 237.
That's great.
So, yeah, in Boston, where the games traditionally took days, so it's it is astounding, to say the least. I'm going to run down to the Timberwolves shoot around, boys, and see what
All
they
right.
have to say for themselves. So,
Sounds good. All right, you go
All
investigate
right.
things, and we'll catch up after the
Yep.
weekend.
okay, see ya. Goodbye.
All right, there he is. Royce Unchained here on Score North.